Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Electrical Shop. Yeah, electrical program. And I just
Electrical technology.
electrical technology. Okay, John Narciso.
Narciso. Yes, sir.
Narciso. I had a T with should be a C. Narciso. And by the way, John and I have given a coverage to the country by working as correction officers. That was enough in its own self. There's a number of stories there, but that's not for today's show.
No, sir. No, it's not. That was another life.
You were telling me that basically how they have a program where children get an opportunity to try different shops.
Sure.
And then after that, the last of their first year, they end up, for the sophomore year, they're going into the shop. Is that it?
What happens is they'll come in September, our freshman class, and they'll explore all the shops throughout the school every 3 days. So they can get a look and see, and they can look around them what upperclassmen are doing in that particular area. And at the end of the calendar year in December, they'll make a choice. I believe it's 1, 2, 3, first, second, and third choices. And they'll return their choices into the office here at Diman, into the PPS, and they'll take all those choices and place students in the shops that they're requesting. They try to do that 100%, and they do have a pretty good track record.
I'll bet they do.
For the most part, they get the students where they want to go.
Now, you know, I read Tom's article in the paper the other day, and I've heard it from Tom Auburn's article, about how many kids you have to turn away. That's a lot of children turning away.
I understand it's 350. Those numbers aren't really coming through the electrical program, but we do have meetings. We have many faculty meetings, and the administration keeps us informed on those numbers. I believe the last number was somewhere around 350 that were turned away from the sending communities.
And then you're doubling up. In other words, you have somebody doing an academic program while the other half is doing
2 weeks back and forth. Sure.
Back and forth. And that's
2
how
weeks.
that's how you double up your attendance.
Well, the school will take the 350 to 370, somewhere in those numbers. Don't quote me on the numbers. I know I'm pretty close.
Yeah.
And they'll come in as a freshman class. Half of that number will be in academics for 2 weeks. The other half of the number will be in the shop areas.
Wow.
So,
now the issue of you do an awful lot of work for the community. Fall River Police Department, we're talking about that.
Sure.
Communication Department, and you've done a lot of work for the different towns, electrical work that they requested. All of this is like when you say Diman needs a new school, and they do. They need to be able to pick up the students that they couldn't pick up. They got to be able to move and enlarge the shops that they can't enlarge. There's no room to enlarge. So in a particular case, I'm appealing to the voter here. In this particular case, what you're doing is you're providing a service to those that would normally have to be paid for by the agencies that are requesting the services of Diman's electrical department.
yes, sir. The municipalities are the sending schools, Somerset, Swansea, and Westport. There's countless number of jobs that the electrical program, as well as other programs here at Diman, go out and take care of their electrical needs, from heating systems to lighting to painting, carpentry work. And I believe a lot of that work would be subject to prevailing wage. And we go out and we take care of the Fall River Police Department is what we have on the docket this year. We're doing a lot of work in this building to try to keep us up and running.
Yep.
We have some other work going on in Westport, but it's constant public service, continuous public service throughout the years. We're working with the reservation folks in Fall River, rebuilding their buildings for the bioreserve out on Blossom Road. And that's quite extensive as well.
Yeah, and that goes now, this isn't just seniors. This, if there's too many projects, you're trying to meet a deadline, you then go to juniors?
Yeah, we try to keep it seniors, junior, and not much more than that. We try to keep it in that parameter just for safety reasons.
Yeah.
Students come in January, their freshman year. They really need the shop, controlled environment training, and a little bit more experience before they go out and do live work, just as a safety aspect. So we try to keep it to upperclassmen, but by no means it's not just limited to the seniors. We've taken juniors out continuously
On the
this year.
co-op program that they have in the school.
Yes, sir.
There's a lot of electrical contract that goes with that, isn't there?
Yes,
People
sir.
are always looking for.
We have,
especially you got a storm out the window now. How many people would be looking at it?
yeah, quite a few. We'll call. We're about 75% of our senior class. It might be a little bit higher this year, are out on co-op. Mm-hmm. We have the remaining back here in shop going through the senior program here. And come April, the juniors are eligible to go out, and we already have some positions lined up for them to head out into co-op as well.
You said earlier in the conversation we had that Massachusetts State Board of Examiners has, you have to be qualified, then you have to take tests. There are a lot of tests that has to be performed here?
What happens is that this is a Chapter 74 program under the Department of Education, and it's recognized by the State Board of Examiners of Electricians, meaning that they recognize what we do here in this classroom as well as the shop towards the prerequisite to take their exam. Their prerequisite is 8,000 working hours under a licensed electrician, as well as another 600 code hours. So all the time that they spend here in this program counts towards that prerequisite. So it cuts down their time after they graduate, maybe 2.5 years. They can sit and take the exam with the state and hopefully get their journeyman's license.
Wow. Wow.
We're at 70% returning right now to do the continuing education here at Diman. We have a great evening school program here. The electrical program is alive and well here at night, and we do the journeyman classes. And a lot of our graduates, a large number of our graduates last year are in the evening school program to finish that time.
Everywhere in the communities, close communities, you'll always we occasionally bump into, but see Diman graduates who have businesses in plumbing, electricity, whatever. I mean, almost the same thing everywhere we go. And so that in itself is a success program. That the economy is built by people who are alumni.
Well, you need infrastructure, and the contractors need experienced tradesmen to execute their work. Some of our largest electrical contractors in the area are all Diman graduates. Mm-hmm. And that infrastructure is spread out between manufacturing, where they have maintenance electricians, right out to the contractor doing service calls, to the ground-up contractors who are doing the industrial and commercial work. A lot of their employees are coming out of this program.
I was deja vu for me when the name was mentioned about supplying a service from the Alumni Association with Randy LaChapelle, who was a board member. His father and I were the best of friends.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and very long time friends. He passed away a few years ago.
Yes, he did.
His father, and I gave at the Mass, I was asked by the boys to have something to say about their father.
Oh, wow, that's great.
So, a great guy. Great guy. And I know he's very, very wrapped up in Diman.
No, Randy, Mr. LaChapelle is very active. He's the owner of Valco Electric.
Yeah.
He employs many of our students. Being a member of the Alumni Association, we were looking for a threading machine. And like every school, we always look at the dollars and cents. So it wasn't something that was in our budget where we were able to obtain. The Alumni Association came in and says, you know what, we'll get that threading machine for you because we're looking to take our senior program and lean it more towards industrial installations where we'd be threading pipe and that sort of wiring method.
Yeah. The interesting concept, I don't know what the plans are, I haven't seen them, I don't participate in that as to the school and what they want to do. But what would be an interesting thing as I go through the shops is the space issue. The space issue, you are the fifth shop, I think we've done, the fifth shop. And it's a space issue, no matter where you go.
You need a little real estate.
And that brings me to try to get, as you said, Alumni Association or the National should be looking to evaluating trade schools' needs.
Sure.
And then turning over, if it's the dental, then the American Dental Association, if the American Electrical Association, to bring that separate building to do services and then to broaden the scope for every shop. So Diman becomes a campus for academics, but a campus with plenty of shops to do things for the public.
Sure. We want to get folks from the outside of our district to come get our students, and they're doing that as well. We've had employees over the border in Rhode Island looking for our students here in the program, as far as Plymouth, Taunton, Mansfield coming down to get our students. We try to get our students to have the skills and the high quality they need so they can be employable and be of value to their employers. And they have been. They've been holding their jobs. They've been there for years. Some of our graduates have been with their co-op employees now for 15 years after graduation. Wow. But like all industry, all technical programs, things change. We need to stay current with those changes. And to make those changes, and there's a revenue involved.
Oh, yeah.
And we try to sort after in any way we possibly can.
You do well. John, we're going to show us your other tradesmen are with you that are teachers.
Sure.
You told me there were 4 in all.
We have 4. We have 4 licensed master electricians in the trade shop, and each one represents a different grade discipline throughout the program. And I'll introduce you to them. doing their thing, and I'll introduce you to some of the instructors and some of the students.
Sure. Whatever you do.
Come on in.
This is this.
Just follow it.
Sure.
Might actually leave them out. This is the
Mr. Chase? Wait a minute. This is Mr. Chase. He's our senior instructor here at Diman Regional.
How are you?
Good. Nice to see you.
Nice to meet you.
Again.
Thank you.
Going on. What are they working on, sir?
We're going over the electrical blueprints for Watupper Reservation,
Oh, bioreserve.
Bioreserve. They're doing a refurbishment of an 1890s 4-bay vehicle garage with the electrical power plants and the underground utilities.
We've already started some work there, right?
Started some work.
Yeah, we did some work in the basement and whatnot.
Heating system, basement lighting fixtures. This is the garage. We're going to do it all on EMT, the underground service, coordination with DigSafe.
You gotta know where everything is.
We're going to work with DigSafe. The kids are setting up a DigSafe account, which is good training for them. As instructors, we went through the DigSafe training.
That came through my account when I was in the legislature in that committee. It was written by Paul Levy. Paul Levy was the guy who was a big safe guy, and then he had to come. He did the legislation for him. So,
A great program.
well, it is a program. Imagine how you save lives with this thing. Big time.
Yeah, from the training, there's been a lot of people hitting underground utilities, trench cave-ins, and it's great to the kids to know as they go in the field, because it's usually a younger person that's involved in the trench work.
You probably, after the Wednesday with another storm, you probably looked at Diamond to be called upon to save the whole area again.
Just might.
It does. Great school.
Great. Thank you, Senator.
Thank you
very much.
Thanks, Mr. Chase. Appreciate
You're
it.
welcome.
Thanks, folks. All right. I'm going to go over to our junior side, our junior program. Actually, this is come here, Riley. This is Riley Hubner. She's one of our juniors here in the electrical program. Riley, what are you working on today?
We're preparing conductors to be pulled through a raceway through a motorized machine.
No, you're going to be setting up the pulling machine, going right to what? This 1.5-inch raceway?
2 inches.
2-inch raceway? Sorry. My eyes are off. They're not what they used to be. That's great. And you're going to be feeding that animal out there? Ms. Levesque? This is Mr. Levesque. He's our junior instructor.
How are you? Nice to
and he
meet you.
runs the junior program here from, well, he can explain it better than I.
Yeah, juniors, we get into industrial controls, motor, push buttons, speed controllers. We start getting them set up with installing conduit, pulling conductors through for feeders, breaker panels, and meter sockets and things like that. And what they're working on right now is they're setting up a pulling machine. The power, the Greenlee pulling machine, to pull the conductors through the raceway.
That's to run the pipe.
Exactly. It pulls for larger feeders. Instead of pulling them by hand, they set up the pulling machine, the rope on it. There's different hookups, different types of pulling grips they hook up to it.
I was
which
wondering
we're
how you
showing
get
them.
that through a pipe.
Yeah, they push a snake through, the fish, they call it, then they hook a rope up to it, and then we hook it up to the capstan, and it pulls it nice and slow. It's all geared down to pull the wires through smoothly.
Isn't it amazing? Imagine you look back and go back and you see all the kids that you've been with over the years, and they're in business today, right?
Yeah, a lot of them move on to their own business.
I know that I live in Somerset. I used to live in Fall River for a long time. It's amazing how many people you call for your TV, for your plumbing, for your air conditioning. They're all Diamond graduates. I mean, it's very few people I know who are not, you know?
Yes.
It's a credit.
Yes, yeah, graduated.
Well, you know,
85 I
mine-
graduated.
Hey, folks. This is our freshman program on this side. Freshmen work with the 5 major wiring methods. And Mr. Knox is going to explain that. This is Mr. Knox. He's a freshman instructor here at Diamond. And maybe he can give us a little explanation on what they're working on, what they do.
Hi, how you doing? My name's Mr. Knox. I'm an electrical teacher here, and what we do in freshman year, we learn basic wiring. There's different wiring methods that we do learn, from Romex, the MC, the electrical metallic tubing, wire mold, and PVC, and also bell work. So what's nice about this, they're getting the technology to learn. They also do, we have a little job here right now, they're doing an MC job. So they're doing them on the board. They get checked by performance. employability, how they make up their connections, how they level it, just like being on the real job site. So by the time they leave in freshman shop, they'll have knowledge of all the basic wiring methods to start off. So by the time they go to sophomore year, they'll already be ready to proceed on. And we do schematics, we do wire diagram. This way, everything we do here from freshman to sophomore to junior, especially going to junior year, they'll already be ready for Mr. Levesque on that side, which is really great. So we all help each other to move on. So we start off the wire methods, Mr. Laguina adds on to them and does the house, then Mr. Levesque takes it over from there.
Right now, there's 34 students. Most of our seniors are out on board.
Okay.
So it's 10 freshmen, 10
Nice to
sophomores,
meet
Hi,
you.
John Knotts.
10 juniors,
Son.
and we have 3 seniors behind.
So the building is always used to show where it goes in a building.
That's our scale model for residential wiring.
Yeah, okay, so that's it. So you move, when you get all, send them in there,
Send them in.
and you start wiring the building.
What's nice about having that house, when the freshmen, well, not the freshmen, but by the time they're junior or senior year, when they move out, they have a house, a real house. I was at another school one time, all we had was a wall, so they didn't know what to do with the wire. The wall was gone, now it's a whole house, what do you do? So now they do it.
John, you need a bigger building.
Need a bigger building, we absolutely do.
And we gotta go this way too, to get the
That way, this
industrial
way.
work going.
Yeah,
That way.
that way, yeah.
Absolutely.
Nice to meet you.
You too. This is our sophomore side. It's primarily based on residential wiring techniques. This is Mr. Laguina. Mr. Laguina is our sophomore instructor here. Mr. Laguina, Senator Norton.
Nice to meet you.
What are we doing here,
Well,
Mel?
our sophomores are split up into different groups. We got 3 kids here working on wire methods, MC and some EMT, and then we have a couple of guys doing some overhead work, and they actually fish those wires in. Fishing wires in the walls is a big thing in Florida, especially with a lot of older homes. You want a light somewhere, there's no light there, all the wires gotta be fished in the walls. So
That's right.
the kids learn how to fish wires in the walls. Then we have a mock-up house where each section of the house, they wire, like the kitchen, the wire in each room, and apply all the codes that's required for each part of the house.
The freshmen and sophomore teachers, as well as your supervision, have to be on the, have to really make sure that the kids have everything done before they get to the next.
Oh, it's constant collaboration
Yes, yes.
throughout the year.
Plus, they're all setting themselves up.
Every part of the job is checked, like they do what we call a rough check before they put devices on.
Yeah.
I check and make sure the wiring is done to code.
Right.
And then they put the devices in.
Okay.
I check and make sure it works. And then after that, I have them pull the devices out. I check the connections to make sure the connections are done properly and tight. And the new code says that we have to have a
Well, they
inch
change
pounds.
codes every year, don't they?
No, every 3 years.
Every 3 years, okay.
And each device, the screw has to be 7-inch pounds of torque on a screw.
It's a new code article in 2017 where all our connections have to be driven in with torque drivers. Again, another expense for the department.
Yeah.
Quite a few $1,000s, but we have to stay current with the code.
Oh, yeah,
It's a
because it
requirement of the NEC, and we're required to follow it.
You've got to do it.
So the students are being familiar, so when they go out in the field, they'll know the tool.
Well, how much are these about? We have,
$280 a
and
piece.
we have, so that's a torque driver that they use to torque down the screws on the devices. $280.
Add to that 200 and what?
80.
$80. How many do you have to get at a time?
Times 30.
We have 20 of them.
Times 30, that's what I was looking for.
Yeah, we have 30 of them.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, it's
The Alumni Association played a good role for you
They
guys.
did a great job. They helped us out with that threading machine. We see it, when we go out near the door. It's a brand new threading machine, just to get a little exposure to the industrial piece. Again, due to size, like everywhere in the building, we have limitations on how far we can expand our wiring methods. We're having a threading machine. At least they're familiar with a small piece of industrial wiring.
Yep.
Yeah, whether they're gonna thread a 1/2 inch or 3 inch, same thing, if it's a bigger pipe. And the die is, all the dies are there that they need to use, so we could go 3 inch on that machine,
I
right?
think it's 3 or 4 inch on that machine. So it was a nice machine they purchased for us. We're very grateful.
Oh, sure, I bet you are.
Why don't we take a walk up inside, see exactly what they're doing? Go right ahead up. Slope ceiling lighting, recessed lighting. Installing receptacles throughout.
project. I checked it. Now he's getting the receptacles so I can check his connections. So once they're off the wall, I check the connections.
Then we
So
take that wire and let's cycle to the freshman program when the jobs are a little bit smaller, so we get the most bang out of our buck.
the wire too, so
How long have you been doing this?
it's my 30th year.
30? God bless you. I hope you get 30 more.
No, I don't know about that.
We have our 3 service panels. We got a bathroom going on here. We're also fortunate. To have this room. This happens probably in May. It's a small little heating system, but our students, our juniors come in. They'll learn how to wire a boiler and a control. They'll know how to use zone valves control as well as circulator control, how to wire electric hot water heaters. Something that I don't think all vocational schools are able to do for space and also cost. But this is a nice program in May, so when they go out, they can probably be placed on a conventional heating boiler in the home and wire it themselves. Also, we emergency standby generators that was donated to us by D-Tech Electric. And the students wire that as well with an emergency standby generator. Again, this all happens in May. All happens in May.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back. John Narciso, who is the head of the electrical shops here at Diman Regional High School. You know, if you start thinking about education, you start thinking about the different parameters of education, and you start thinking about what the cost of education is and what you have to go through. I'm not diminishing academics. I'm encouraging Diman schools like Diman in particular, to branch into the future to get your help. They need your help because it's a big field. Every school is ancient in some respects, and it has to be replenished. It has to be renewed, and it's important to you and the community, in all of the communities in the preview of Diman, to become involved in it. So we hope that you watch the shows. We hope that you see them. We hope that you support Diman. Okay? Thank you, John, for having us here.
Thank you very much.
Our
Thank you
pleasure.
for coming by.